Hello everybody, and welcome back. I got something new for you, something new to the channel, but something I think has a lot of potential to be pretty cool. Something I'm kind of looking forward to. It's kind of like a podcast, but not really. It's kind of the next best thing, I guess. But basically what I'm going to be doing, I think I'm going to try and do them weekly, or something like that whenever there's a big story. But I'm going to be getting on iRacing and be answering some questions, just kind of driving around a little bit, goofing around, while answering some of the questions that I've been asked or given, some thoughts on current NASCAR situations, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. But let me get out here and quick little plug here and just show you guys the car or truck that I am driving. Right before the line, nice. Alright, so there it is. There's the truck. Same truck that I drove in the last video at Chicago, made by my friend. So go check his links out in the description box, the Trading Paints account and the YouTube. So let's get into it with some questions. First thing first. So I put up a thing on my Instagram story to ask me some questions to answer in the next video. And I got some responses. One of them was, what are my race plans for this season? And I'm assuming that you mean going to races. And the truth is, right now it's just too early to tell. I know NASCAR released something. I don't know if it was an official plan or schedule or just an idea. But if everything was normal, I was supposed to be going to Dover in like 2.5 weeks, something like that. And Pocono doubleheader in June, and New Hampshire in July. Obviously won't be going to Dover in April or late April, early May now that it got canceled. I'm not sure if everything will be back to normal by August, which was when the makeup date was supposed to be. So depending on how that goes, I could be going there. Same thing with Pocono and New Hampshire. I'm supposed to be going, but you know, it's just too early to tell with how things are right now. And you never know if they'll be able to run the race, first of all, and then if they do run the race, if they'll have fans in attendance, if they'll allow that, which I think they kind of have to, just because NASCAR, the tracks kind of live off that fan attendance and revenue. So I'm not sure what they're going to do. I hope that it doesn't go on iRacing for the rest of the year. That'd just suck. I mean, I love iRacing and I have it, and I think it's pretty cool and the next best thing, but I just don't want to have that happen. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated as soon as I know about when I'm going to these races, but I was also supposed to have garage passes and hot passes at Dover, so we're going to have to figure out how we're going to maneuver those around to the tracks we're going to. That'll bring to the next question. I kind of talked about it there a little bit. Do I think iRacing will go for points eventually if we don't go green again this season on real life, real tracks? And I don't know. I could see them doing it. I could definitely see them going for points if they don't clear this up soon, and kind of running partial season, part of it, if not the whole thing, on iRacing. But at the same time, you know, you get guys out there that don't take it serious. Like Bubba Wallace said, he even said he doesn't take it serious. And he lost Blue Emu, one of his sponsors, because of it, because he rage quit. So I don't know if NASCAR or the sponsors would be up for that. And then you got situations like Kyle Larson that just happened, and I don't know if iRacing would take that on at this time. It might take a couple of weeks, maybe more, for them to kind of move on from this and just kind of let everything cool down from that. So that's my take on it. It's not a very good one, and it's not cut and clear yet. It's just way too early to tell about this season. The last 2 weeks, there's been 2 major incidents of drivers losing their part of their reputation, I guess you could say. And I'm trying to go quiet here so it doesn't completely overpower my voice. So I don't know what they do. I don't know if iRacing would even make that an option, given what just happened with Kyle Larson, but I really hope it doesn't. I hope we go real racing soon. Next question, kind of a smaller, less controversial one. His favorite diecast. It's got to be my Chase Elliott 2013 Ontario truck. It's just a good looking ride, and it's race version. It's my favorite driver. Truck series is arguably, I don't want to say arguably because it's me, but it's probably my favorite series. And yeah, these times are slow. Like I said, I'm trying to not overpower my voice here, but still give you guys something to look at. Next question I had, NASCAR pushed back the next gen cars until at least 2021. What do I think about that? I'm happy about it. You know, I wasn't a big fan of the next gen cars to begin with when they announced them. I'm not a big fan of the sequential shifting, the 5th gear, the 1 lug nut. I'm not a big fan of it. And so hearing that they pushed it back, I'm pretty happy about it. I'm personally on board with they change cars way too much. They need to just kind of let one roll for, you know, more than 3 or 4 years, which is kind of what they've been doing. Sometimes a little bit longer, but mostly 3 to 4 years. I don't like how they're going with that next gen car. I know. So I'm happy it got pushed back. So that's one good thing that has come out of this COVID-19 racing suspension. I do want to say, if you think or have your own thoughts about these comments and what I'm saying here, definitely go down and drop them in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to respond to them. And you know, it's always good to hear people's thoughts and see how everybody thinks. And there will be videos in the future where I have people on, whether it's just an online, you know, random people, or I have some other friends on iRacing that I could have on, and I'm sure would do it. And some of you guys, if you have it, I'd have on. But now to the biggest story in NASCAR, in sports right now, probably. Well, outside of the XFL closing. It's probably not as popular as that, but it might be. More controversial for sure. Kyle Larson. And if you follow racing at all, and you're up to date on it, that's all you need to hear right now to know what's going on. But if you don't know, and I'm going to say it either way, even if you do, basically, Kyle Larson was running a iRacing event on Sunday night, which just happened to be Easter Sunday, and I don't know the whole story. I wasn't in the session, I wasn't in the chat, but what I've heard is he thought he was in the driver or team chat with one of the drivers on his team, and he just kind of blurted out the N-word, and it happened to be that he was not in the team chat and he was in the driver chat. So I don't know how big the session was, but it's usually around 20 to maybe 25 people. So all of those drivers heard it. And there was a lot of NASCAR drivers in there. I think Garrett Smithley was in there. I know Anthony Alfredo responded right after he said it and was like, "Yeah, Kyle, you just said that," or "Everybody heard that, bud." Trying to tell him that he was in the driver chat. Connor Daly was in it and just said, "Yikes," because his dad had something similar happen a while ago, like years ago, and Connor Daly lost a sponsorship for it. I think it was 2 years ago at a road course race in Xfinity Series. So that happened. He slipped. Before I get into my thoughts and feelings on it, basically what happened was it was streaming, so everybody heard it, and it spread very quickly as social media does nowadays. But Kyle Larson said it, he slipped up. Shortly after, like the next morning, CGR, Chip Ganassi Racing, suspended him without pay. And then I think it was Chevy who suspended their relationship with him. And I don't know what that means. I haven't read up on it enough. But I don't know if it just means they suspended it until they get it figured out, or if it means they don't want any part of him ever again, or at least for now. And then I think it was NASCAR next dropped him, or not dropped him, but suspended him, and they're making him go through sensitivity training. And then I think it was McDonald's dropped their partnership sponsorship with him. And then it was Credit One Bank. So, in the span of probably 8 to 10 hours, he kind of lost his NASCAR career for the time being. I don't know. It happened 2 days ago, and all the suspensions were yesterday. So there's been no real official punishment or set in stone plan handed out for what they're going to do with him. But all those McDonald's, Credit One, Chevy all suspended him, or Chevy suspended him, McDonald's and Credit One dropped him. CGR and NASCAR suspended him. There have been 2 sponsors that I've heard of. One of them is Finley Farms, which is his sprint car team sponsor. They have said that everybody makes mistakes and everybody deserves a second chance, and they're still going to sponsor his sprint car stuff. And Plan B Sales also came out and said that Kyle Larson called him right away, and he admitted he was wrong, and I'll see if I can find the whole thing here. Hold on. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's right here. So this is from the Plan B Sales Facebook page, and it says, "As many of you know, we've been associated with Kyle Larson since 2013, from getting him to sign Diecast in our warehouse, bringing him in to interact with fans during our biannual events during race week, to sponsoring him 2 years in a row for the Winter National Sprint Car race in Yuma. Kyle has signed thousands and thousands of diecast cars for us, and we have likely spent 20 plus hours with him and around him. Never once has he come across to us as a person with ill intent towards anyone and he would be the last person I would ever associate with any type of racism. Kyle called me personally earlier today to express his regretfulness about what happened and transpired. He sounded very somber and was very apologetic. I told Kyle I was proud of the way he is handling it, being upfront, not trying to hide, admitting his mistake, and taking the steps to learn from it and move forward. Although we do not condone or appreciate the slur Kyle used during his iRacing event last night, at the same time, we know he is an awesome young man that has made a mistake, and we are going to stand behind him 100% and help him in any way we can. So, Kyle Larson called Plan B Sales and was very sorry and expressed that very profusely to the Plan B Sales crew, and they are sticking behind him, which is good to see. I mean, he did make a mistake, and I'm gonna kind of get into it a little bit, which I don't know if that's a great idea or not, but my thoughts is that is a word that should never be said, no matter who you are or what you've been through or what you do. It shouldn't be said by anybody ever. And he slipped up. I've listen to me here. Like, I've never, said that in any way towards anybody. But I have been in the situation in iRacing where you are racing with somebody and you think you're in the team chat, but you're in the driver chat. And like I said, I've never said anything, bad or offensive like that. I've definitely said some stupid and, more personal things to the driver chat, thinking I was in the team chat, but never like that. So I can understand thinking you're in the team chat when you're not, and that's really where this whole problem originated from. Because if he had said that in the team chat with whoever was in that, team with him, likely this never would have been an issue. But unfortunately, he wasn't, and so everybody heard. But I do agree with what Plan B Sales said. So far, he hasn't really been a problematic driver or person. So I can understand getting behind him, giving him a second chance. I also understand Credit One and McDonald's for dropping him, because as much as to us NASCAR fans, it is, fun and it's passion, and NASCAR is just what we do, and we support the drivers no matter what. But to a lot of the sponsors, it is just a business, and they can't have that attached to their business. It just doesn't look good. It won't go good with, revenue and marketing and all that, and just being attached to it. So I can understand dropping it, but I do believe in second chances, and I do hope Kyle Larson gets one. I saw this on Twitter. I don't remember who said it, but everybody was kind of hating on him for it and hating on his apology, and this one person said something along the lines of, what he said was wrong in every way, and it should never be said, but until any of us can walk on water, we should never judge his heart, which is actually something I really did like. It was kind of cool to see that, because I do agree with what that person said and the message behind it. But no matter what, none of us really know Kyle Larson, and a lot of times people do make a slip up, and unfortunately this one was very bad, and it is just a mistake on his part. He owned up to it, he apologized, and I believe he should have every punishment, from NASCAR or CGR, whatever it is. He deserves it. But I also, that being said, I think he should get a second chance, and he doesn't deserve to have his career taken away from him, especially the fact he just said it. He didn't mean it towards anybody. But But like I said earlier, should never be said by anybody, no matter what or who you are. And everybody's saying now that Ross Chastain is going to take over that 42 Cup ride full time. It's too early to tell, honestly, especially with this COVID-19 suspension, no racing. You know, this could all be worked out and sorted out by the next time we go green, and Kyle Larson could be through his sensitivity training and everything like that, and he could be back in the ride, no problem. But it could also be they just drop him and Ross Chastain takes over. Nobody knows yet. Problem is, this COVID-19 is making it difficult for people to see things through. You know, if we were racing every week, I'm sure the situation would have been much clearer by now, and how it was being handled was going to be much clearer by now. But you know, we just don't know. But nobody should be going out and attacking Kyle Larson. That's just something he shouldn't be doing. He apologized for it. He's dealing with the consequences right now. So he's getting enough hate, and he's gotten enough hate already. So just don't go out there and try and bring him down, because he's probably already pretty low right now. Because I've had, you know, experiences with Kyle Larson myself, not like personally, but you know, not on a personal level, but like at the track and things like that. And every time I've kind of seen him and seen how he is, how he acts, he's, you know, been a very I don't want to say well behaved, because it sounds like I'm a higher power, but he's been very considerate and kind and just nice to people. So I'd hate to see something like this, you know, kill his career and his livelihood, but he's got consequences coming. He's dealing with them, but I do hope he gets a second chance, because he is a good guy. But let's see, this has been a little over 20 minutes, so I got over most of the questions that I had. I do hope that you like this, so feel free to leave comments on your thoughts, or comments with your questions. Also, DM them to me, or I will post up on my story asking for questions for the next one. I think what I'm going to do is try and release these every Monday. I know this one's coming out on Tuesday, but that's just because I had a lot going on with my online classes and stuff on Monday. But I'm pretty excited for this. This is something I've wanted to do for a while. And like I said, I will have guests and stuff on this for future episodes. But don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. I'm going to run a quick one here and see what we can get. So I'm at Richmond basically just because this is where they are this week. I have yet to run an official race here at Richmond this week, so I'm getting a little practice on this. Still not the best here at Richmond, so don't have to worry. But so, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm going to do a couple of these episodes at least. But I do hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.